Hi everyone, welcome back. It's not often that I start a video completely makeup free, but today I am filming a review and wear test for the new Bite Beauty Changemaker Supercharged Micellar Foundation. Being totally honest with you, I really didn't have plans to purchase this foundation, but then I kept hearing so many good things about it from fellow influencers, so I was influenced. And the other day I was chatting with my good friend Michelle Wong, who also has a YouTube channel. If you're not following her, if you're not subscribed to her, definitely go check out her channel. If you love luxury makeup, high-end / luxury makeup, you have to be. You probably already are following or subscribed to Michelle Wong, because anytime there is a luxury makeup release, she's on it. She's got a video, a full review, tutorials. I mean, the woman knows her stuff, and her personality just, it can't be beat. She is just one of the most truly genuine, funny, charismatic people I've ever met. And I'm just so happy that she lives here in Las Vegas and I get to see her in person, and she's become one of my good friends. And we decided to collab on this video because A, we were both, I think she's the one who actually said this, we were influenced by the influencers, as I said earlier. And two, we have totally different skin types. And this foundation claims to be for all skin types. I have very oily skin. Michelle has dry skin. But even if my video isn't for your specific skin type, and maybe her video isn't for your specific skin type, I hope that you will watch them both, because you will probably hear some things in each that will be of benefit to you, that will be helpful in making your decision to purchase or not purchase. So I'll be linking her video in the description box. So what else do you need to know? This is a clean foundation. It is formulated without sulfates, parabens, phthalates. In a consumer study on 31 volunteers after 8 hours wear, 100% of users agree this foundation feels fresh. 97% said it was easy to blend. 97% said it went on smoothly. It's vegan, cruelty-free, gluten-free, and the highlighted ingredients are maqui berry, an antioxidant-rich ingredient that helps nurture your complexion, and micellar technology, which gently mimics skin texture for a smooth, non-cakey look. And that's what I'm personally most interested in as someone who does have texture. And I will be showing you some photos in natural light. I'll be doing my check-ins in natural light, so you won't be seeing, you know, all these bright lights on me. So the color I chose is M65. And the reason why I chose this shade is because it said that it was a light medium with neutral undertones. I do like to, if I'm in between shades, I do like to go for a darker tone and then blend down my neck. I received my order from Sephora yesterday, and as soon as I took this out of the box, I thought, ooh, that's gonna be dark. So I used a self-tanner last night, so my neck and my body is a little bit darker than my face. So hopefully this will work. And I don't think I mentioned this yet, but it retails for $39.50, and it contains 1 ounce of product. I do like this packaging. While it's not super luxe, like a Pat McGrath bottle or YSL, or Charlotte Tilbury, this is great for travel, put in your makeup bag. You don't have to worry about dropping it and having it explode everywhere. I'm gonna do one side with a brush. This one is from BK Beauty. It's the 106. And then I'm gonna do the other side using my favorite makeup application sponge, the Stands Out Beauty Sponge. I'm going to be trying this without a primer, because in my personal experience, if a foundation works well without a primer, it will only work better with one. I know that's not true in all cases, but in my experience, with 99% of the foundations I've tried, they work better. They work even better with a primer. So if they work well without one, that's awesome. So I'm gonna zoom you in. Now I should say that I typically like foundations with more medium to full coverage, because I do have marks from old breakouts. When I was young, I had a lot of problems with acne. I have large pores and broken capillaries over here. Maybe I'll turn the brightness down so you can see a little bit better, maybe. Yeah. All right, so let's go in with the brush first. So I'm putting about that much on. And let's see. But actually, the color isn't too bad with my self-tanner. You can see this is my real skin color on my ear, so you always want to blend onto the ear. Let's see. Oh. Wow. Huh. I like the coverage. I would say that it's definitely medium, and that was about the right amount. I don't think I used too much. Still seeing my pores, and it's a little bit more glowy than I usually prefer, because as someone with oily skin, I typically reach for a matte foundation. I'm honestly really excited that the color is working. Ooh, it has a nice clean scent to it. Here's a closer look. No foundation, foundation. Now let's do the Stands Out Beauty side. I'm gonna just put a little bit on my face like this. You know, it looks almost like a little peachy, but it doesn't once it's blended out. Now I'm gonna take the sponge and blot it in. Blot it in? Pat it in. Interesting. I feel like I got a lot more coverage with the brush than with the sponge. And why I say that's interesting is because usually I get better coverage with the sponge than a brush. Yeah, this would be a no-go for me. Sometimes I'm really happy that I do these videos because it shows me something that I might never have otherwise tried, the different, methods. Just adding a little bit more, like honestly, hopefully this will zoom again, just that much. And adding some more. There we go. Ooh, I much prefer a brush application. I will say that it does look a little makeup-y when you add that second layer. Like I can definitely see my pores more. And it's really not covering, oops, it's really not covering the pores very well on the side of my nose. I have a feeling that Michelle is gonna say it's too makeup-y. Like, it looks too much like makeup because I know she's used to wearing much more sheer, very, very skin-like foundations. And as you can see, it's not matte. It is not matte. It doesn't claim to be matte, but it does claim to be long wearing. And so that's the real challenge when you have oily skin is the foundation going to stay on? And I definitely am going to have to set this. And I think I'm gonna set it with, what am I gonna set it with? I'm gonna set it with my Nakia Joy powder. And so that definitely took down the shine. Obviously, if you like a glowy look, you would not do this. But if you're oily, I have a feeling this is going to be a very necessary step. I think it looks pretty good. Let's go check it out in some natural light. Okay, it's been about 4 hours since I applied the foundation. It's a little after 12:20 in the afternoon, and I'm holding the phone obviously vertically versus horizontally because my hand is just much more steady when I hold the phone vertically, and I think you can still see just as well The foundation looks pretty good, especially considering I didn't use any oil controlling primer. I feel like I thought I would be a lot more oily, being that this is not a matte foundation. This is not an oil controlling foundation. It's not tailored to oily skin. I'm surprised. I look glowy, but not like greasy. I do have, you know, some shine going in through the T-zone, but I think if I had used an oil controlling primer, that would help. And the foundation, I'm still having trouble around my nose. But that, if you watch my other foundation reviews, that's a common problem for me with foundation because I have those broken capillaries and just lots of texture. It's really hard for foundation to stay on my nose, on the sides, and then on the chin area. So the coverage isn't great here, but overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I do have concerns that by hour 8, it's not gonna look that great, but right now, it's looking pretty good, I think. You know what? I have to change that. I zoomed in on this footage, the footage I just took, and it actually looks pretty bad around here and on my chin. Everything else looks great. It's just this area right here. Not so great. All right, it is 4:15 p.m. So I've had the foundation on now for about 8 hours. So I feel like I am still not as shiny as I expected to be. So in that regard, I'm really impressed. It hasn't deteriorated anymore. You know, as I showed you earlier, I had some trouble having the foundation stick to this area and this area, but oh, now I just rubbed it, but it hasn't like disappeared anymore. It's still about the same. So the wear time is pretty good. It's just not great through here. And I don't like love the way my skin looks right now. I'm just not, as of right now, I feel like the foundation is good. I'm just not wowed by it. Did I say that earlier? I think I might have said that earlier, but that's just truly how I feel. It's not a bad foundation. I'm just not like, oh my gosh, this stuff is amazing. Okay, it is a little after 9 p.m. and I am getting ready to take my makeup off for the day. So I wanted to give you a last look at what the foundation looks like and give you my final thoughts. Basically, not much has changed since the last check-in. I'm impressed with how non-greasy I feel right now. I don't feel excessively oily with this foundation on, which is surprising. Now, the temperature was ideal today. We were in the low 60s here in Vegas, low humidity. So I think that in the middle of the summertime here, when it's 100+ degrees and I'm running errands and in my hot car and all that, I don't think that I'm going to be happy with this foundation at all. I think if you have oily skin, this is just not going to be the best one for you. I think even if I used a primer underneath this, that I would still, I think it would be better, but I don't think that it's going to make that much of a difference, especially when summer comes around. This foundation will not replace any of my current favorites like the Too Faced Peach Perfect or my Studio Fix Fluid. Those are still gonna be my go-tos. I don't hate this foundation. I will try it a couple more times. Perhaps I'll use a little bit less next time, although I used the amount that I needed, that I feel like I needed to get the coverage that I like, the coverage that I'm comfortable with. I wouldn't say this foundation looks cakey, but it doesn't look great. My pores are looking quite large and it's not as smoothing as I had hoped, like it claims that the Micellar technology will help to give it a smooth, non-cakey look. I think this foundation would be good for someone with pretty normal skin that doesn't have a lot of texture, that maybe wants a little bit of coverage. This could be perhaps a nighttime foundation for someone who usually wears, say, a tinted moisturizer during the day, because this is going to give you a more polished, medium coverage look. But if you're oily and have textured skin and large pores, This is not, I don't think, going to be your new Holy Grail foundation. For those of you with dry skin who may still be watching this video, I thank you if you are, but I highly encourage you to click the link in the description and check out Michelle Wong's review of this Changemaker foundation. I am interested to hear her thoughts as well, because this foundation, as I said in the beginning, claims to work on all skin types, but I'm gonna say after this experience that perhaps not very oily skin like mine. So those are my thoughts. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If this is your first visit to my channel, I hope that you'll stick around and check out some of my other videos. And if you like what you see, that you will hit that subscribe button and become part of the Risa Does Makeup family. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter under the same username, Risa Does Makeup. Once more, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.